Peace. I wanted to take a moment and build briefly about understanding. Now, in our supreme mathematics, understanding is symbolic to the number three. In the same way that one and two equals three, knowledge and wisdom equals understanding, or understanding is a composite or combination of knowledge and wisdom. In order to arrive at understanding, you have to have knowledge and wisdom. One of the things we also teach is that understanding is seeing things for what they are, not what they appear to be. Now, when you look at that definition as well as approach towards how we arrive at understanding, that is very sophisticated in comparison to the very generic, unsophisticated idea, concept, and lack of approach that we're taught in this society about understanding. If you engage people in a conversation and just ask them, how do you understand this? Or how do you understand that? Or how did you arrive at this understanding? People going to tell you how they feel today, what they believe, what they think, part of what they know, what they heard somebody say, what they seen somebody heard that they said, what they watched on TV. People are going to be all over the place. It's not whether to say it's right or wrong. It's just to point out the fact that, number one, there's no consensus on how understanding is defined. And number two, there is no formal approach towards how people arrive at that understanding. People are not really taught a formal approach towards this is what you need to do in order to have understanding of what this actually is, because it's not evidence based. As five percenters, that is our approach towards arriving at an understanding. It has to be evidence based upon knowledge and wisdom. Here's an example. You could be watching Star Wars for the first time with somebody and they never seen it before, right? And Darth Vader walks onto the scene with the Imperial March playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. He got his stormtroopers behind him. He rocking his all black with that dark, deep voice. He pulls out his lightsaber that's all fiery red. And you can ask that person, who is that? They may not even know that person's name, but they're going to tell you that's the bad guy. A child will tell you that's the bad guy. Because all of the elements that you see gives you the impression that this is the bad guy, which is somewhat true, but it's a very generic understanding of who this person is. You know, he's wearing all black, got that deep, dark voice. He got that evil sounding music in the background. Then he pulls out the lightsaber that's all fiery red. That's the bad guy. But like I said, that's a very generic understanding of who he is. As five percenters, like I said, our understanding has to be evidence based. It has to be based on knowledge and wisdom. So if we wanted to share our understanding of Darth Vader, we would have to go back and give you the backstory of who Darth Vader is. We have to tell you about Anakin Skywalker and all of the trials and tribulations that he went through and what he felt encouraged him to go to the dark side and the different type of relationships he's had with different people. And it's a very sophisticated idea of who this person is to get a clear understanding of who he is and to see him for what he is, not what he appears to be. But if you were to try to have that same conversation with a person that just has a generic idea of who this is based upon the Imperial March music, based upon that deep, dark voice and him wearing a mask and not wanting to take it off, they won't be able to give you no knowledge or share no wisdom about Darth Vader. It's the exact same way with various different people, activities, in all aspects of life. When you're dealing with a person that does not have a formal approach towards how they should arrive at an understanding, as well as how they even define understanding, there's going to be a lot of room for error, and it's going to be a lot of flaws in that once you really engage this person based upon what they know and how wise they are based upon what it is that they say that they see. So I will this was inspiring, empowering, it was educating, and gave those of you a little bit more of some insight in regards to our principle of understanding, not only by definition, but why we have a formal approach towards how we arrive at what we say we see for what it is, not what it appears to be. Peace.